Okay, today's epic story is my first experience that I ever had with ESP or remote viewing, a phenomenon that could not really be explained in the moment. So, what happened is back in 2012, in the beginning of the year, January, I was in Maui, Hawaii with my family on a vacation. And in the hotel that we were staying in, I ended up going into the stairwell. I'd be 15 at the time. I go into a stairwell and I ascend all the way to the top of the stairwell to where there's a door for the rooftop. And beside the door, there's one of those key holders with a pin that you need to punch in. And this was not a digital key holder, this was analog, the kind that you might use if you put a spare key underneath your car in order to access a key if you lose the other one. Okay, so there's this key holder beside the door. And what happened is I looked at this key holder. At the time, I'm not aware of anything to do with remote viewing, ESP, psychic ability, or things like telekinesis. All of those are very foreign to me. Like, I am blank in that information sphere. Now, I don't recall the amount of time that this took, but I remember that I sat looking at this thing and just thinking to myself, I wonder if I can guess the combination. I wonder if I can guess the combination. So I just started punching things in, right? And what I remember, what seemed to happen is as I was punching these random things in and then I would sit and focus, it was as though four numbers dropped into my head. And I tried those. And as I was doing in the past, I was just punching in the letters, trying the, what would you call it? The toggle to be able to open it. I would just punch them in and try it. But at that specific moment, it was like whatever it was, 5741. It dropped in and I went boom, 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 and it opened. And as I opened it, it was very much like surprising and exciting. So I saw a key in there. I took the key out and I opened the door. And then I went out onto the roof. I was so excited and mind blown at the same time. Like, did I just how did how did that happen? Right? And then I went back in. I don't know if I remembered the combination itself that had dropped into my mind or not, but I went back in and I went to retrieve my brother or my sister and then brought them up and said, look at what I just guessed. Look at what I figured out. And I showed them the rooftop. We went out on top. I may have told my parents, and I don't know if they came to check it out for themselves or whatnot, but that phenomenon itself of having a the code drop into my head and then the code working. The way I look at this now is very much in a sense of what remote viewers do, where if you look up remote viewing, they look up a target and then they're able to sense different phenomena, kinesthetics of the target itself. That's what I think I was tapping into in that moment. And I mean, how many, maybe you have guessed a pin to a combination in your life. That's why you're here. For myself, that was one of those moments where it really blew my mind. It made me think, uh, what's possible? Like, if I can just guess this combination that should be random, what else could be possible with the way that God has constructed this big, vast, phenomenal universe? Now, keep in mind, this is when I was 15. I knew nothing about uh, anything. So that was quite an epic experience. And this phenomenon has happened one time again. Uh, this was recent when I was in psychiatric care in the hospital in a manic state of mind. There is an oven in the hospital. So this would have been last September or last October 2024. There's an oven with a lock on it so that people can't open the oven. There's a 3-digit combination. And I remember standing looking at the 3-digit combo with this other person who was a friend of mine inside of the psychiatric unit. We became friends in there. And we were like, I can't remember if he said it or I said it. We were like, code's got to be 420. We punch that in and it opens. Now, of course, that situation, it's a little bit more of a guessable number because it's memeable and all of that. But that's another situation where guessing a combination worked. So yeah, that's the story. And what I'd like to know is if anything like this has happened for yourself. I want to see if there's a community of people who are making sense out of random phenomenon that have happened in their life. So that's the story for today. ESP. Something to think about. This is Epicworld. Peace out.